So in this video, we're going to look at conditional statements. And there are a couple of conditional statements we can use in Java, but the one we're going to start using today are called if statements. Now we're going to start off with some simple if statements, and we'll be continuing with this in topic 3 because there's a lot more complex things we can do with if statements once we start using ands, ors and nots. But to start with today, we're just going to do some simple if statements. So we use conditional statements or if statements when we want to make a decision between a number of options, and based on the outcome of that decision we want to run some particular type of code. So the way we do it is we're checking statements that can evaluate to a Boolean, so true or false. So I'm saying if something is true, do something, else if something else is true, do something else. And then I have an else which will run if neither of these two are true. Now with an if statement, the first one that's true runs, and then the rest do not run. So if this first one is true, these next two will not run. If the first one is not true, then we run the second one. And if that is true, and we run the code here, then we don't do the last one. The else runs if nothing above it is true. So let's have a look at an example for this. So I have a method called check student's age. So age is an int. So what I'm saying is if age is less than 18, print out you're under 18. Else if age is greater than 65, print out you are over 65. Else, print out you are over 18 and less than 65. So let's have a talk about how this works. It's going to check the first condition. If this condition evaluates to true and age is less than 18, then this code will run. If this code runs and this condition is true, these do not run. We would move on to code here if there was some. We've finished the if statement. If this is not true, then this one is checked. And if this one evaluates to true, this code runs, and then the else never runs. We would move down to here. If this one is not true, and this one is not true, then the else runs. The else is like a catch-all. If none of the above conditions are true, then the else will run. So let's have a look at this, and let's have a see how it works in practice. So I've got grey lines on my class, need to compile. Create a new student. Okay. So let's see what the age is. Int get age is 0. That's the default value of an int. So let's run check student's age, and we'll need the console because we're going to see some print line statements. So check student's age. You are under 18. So notice age was less than 18. These conditions need to evaluate to a Boolean value, true or false. So is age less than 18? True. So this printed out. Now let's set the age using the mutator. So set age, I'll set it to 30. Okay. Now let's run it again. Check student's age. You're over 18 and less than 65. So it checked this, age was 30, 30 is not less than 18, that evaluates to false. So this code does not run. Then it checks if age is greater than 65. That is not true, so this code does not run. So then it printed the else. So let's try it one more time. I'm going to set the age using the mutator for age. I'm going to set it to 90. Okay, check student's age, you're over 65. Because age was not less than 18, that was false, this code did not run. Age was greater than 65, yes, because it was equal to 90, so this code runs. Notice the else doesn't run. Once this code runs, we finish the if else statement and we move to here. I'm going to just show you one more thing. So what I'm going to do now is remove the else. We don't need an else. The else is just if we want to catch, like a catch-all. So if none of these are true, then this will print. But I don't need to have an else. It's not required. So now if I compile it, Let's create a new student. So let's check it now. So check student age. Yep, you're under 18 because it would have been equal to 0. That's the default value. So now let's set it to 30. So get the mutator, set it to 30. OK. Check student's age. Look, we can see the method ran. Nothing was printed out. That's because this wasn't true and this wasn't true, so nothing ran. We didn't have a catch-all. So we only have the else at the very end, like this, if we want a catch-all, if we want some piece of code to run if nothing above it was true. But we check the first one, then the second one, and then if none of those are true, we check do the else. And we could have as many as we want. We could have an if, then another else if. I could have gone if age is less than 10, else if age is less than 20, less than 30. I can have as many as I want. And if none of them are true, then the else runs. But as soon as we encounter one that's true and that code runs, the if-else statement is finished and we move on to the next line of code after the if-else statement.